Good morning. Good morning. It is another beautiful day, and this is your girl Germaine on Morning Brew with Germaine. So, welcome everybody. How is your day going so far? Depending on where you are, depends on what time it is, right? So, how is your day going so far? Let me get started on my live Instagram. Forgot to press the button. Good morning again. Welcome to Morning Brew with Yes, it's your girl Germaine, and I hope everybody's doing well. So, what are you drinking? Let's start there. I have my coffee today. I started juicing, me and my husband, and he's so excited about it. But we started juicing, and I'm gonna have to switch up some coffee now that the weather's changing and start drinking some healthy blended juices that we create. And we've been having some really good juices. So remember, Morning Brew, you can come stop by for coffee and conversation, but you don't have to necessarily be drinking coffee. You could drink tea, you could drink juice, smoothies, water, whatever you prefer, you can drink. So I'll be switching it up a little bit, sharing some of our juice blends that we are really enjoying. Even Penny, the dog, she loves like the pulp that comes from it or the extra when you scrape in the strainer, and I mean she eats it up. But it is healthy, and I have done my research to make sure it's okay for her to eat it. Right? But I hope everybody's having a good day. Today, our morning brew topic is going to be your creativity shapes culture. Your creativity shapes culture. So give me a second so we can get right into it. Before we get into that, though, right? Today is Tuesday. So I'm just going to drop a few things in. Um, if you are chiming in, let me know you're here. Say hi. Say hi, give me thumbs up, something. Let me know you're here. All right. But let's talk about me. Today is Tuesday. So I decided again, I'm gonna show back up on my Morning Brew with Germaine. It's now on TikTok Live. So we went there on last Tuesday. If I had to rate last Tuesday from 1 to 10, I would probably give it you know what, just for showing up and staying there and trying to figure it out, I'm going to give myself a 5. Let's see if we can get that number up today. So if you got some free time, it's just quick. This is the Morning Brew with Germaine. This is our spillover conversation. Whereas really, it's matters of the heart. We really just going to talk about some stuff together, right? Together. I really want to hear from you in TikTok Live. And you know what? If you can't make the TikTok Live, then you know what? The conversation carries right over into our school community. But today on TikTok Live, I'm going to give you a sneak peek. It is going to be about if you find yourself in a hole. We're going to talk about some things. Yep, I'm going to really get into some stuff. So, but nevertheless, I just wanted to make that announcement to join me at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, Tuesday, over on TikTok Live. I hope to see you in the conversation in the room. I could really use the encouragement, especially if you are familiar with TikTok. Okay. So hopefully you'll join me over there. All right. But let's get back to our message today. Our brew topic today is creativity. Your creativity shapes culture. Let me break that down a little bit for you. Okay. So creative expressions. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah. Creative expressions doesn't mean, I'm sorry, feel like something want to jump in my eye. Sorry about that. Creative expressions does more than entertain. It shapes how people see the world and how generations remember it. All right. So let's get into our segment real quick so we can dive a little deeper into it, which is our Pour in the Purpose segment. Let's talk about it a little deeper. So hold on. I'm so sorry. I feel like something. Okay. Okay. Ah, you with me? Okay. Thanks. So let's get into our Pour in the Purpose segment. Creativity influences culture. I'm sorry, guys. Listen, I feel like something wants to get into my. There. Did I get it? Okay. All right. So, creativity influences culture. Art changes perception, words shape narratives, creativity moves movements. You want me to say that again? Creativity influences culture. Um, okay. So, art changes perception, words shape narratives, and creativity moves movements. All right, let's continue to pour a little more. So, if any of this taps into where you are with things, then you know what? Just let me know. All right. Expression is leadership. Expression is leadership. Artists become cultural leaders. Creators, they challenge norms. And creativity sparks dialogue. So, if you're a creative person, you probably understand exactly what I'm talking about today. If you're someone that operates in that creative space, and creativity comes in all shapes, sizes, and forms, okay? Um, but let's continue to pour. Your ideas contribute to the future. Do you believe that your ideas can contribute to the future? Okay. Culture evolves through voices, and we all have one, a voice. All right. So creative works preserves truth, and innovation begins with imagination. Listen, a lot of this stuff is just really hitting me because I feel I'm a creative person. I may not be the type that draws or, write songs or anything like that, but I believe I'm a creative person. I can, see something, tap into one's vision, and help it become one's reality. I think that's creative, being able to do that. And so, my mind is always thinking, always thinking. And it's so interesting because when I think about it, as a publisher, a book publisher, that's creative in itself, right? Helping to bring people's stories to life. But one day it hit me because when I thought about almost 600 titles later of helping those share their stories with the world, I thought about all those covers that I helped to create, or that my hands actually created. That's creativity, being able to create covers that speak to the words on the inside of the book and helping to bring it to life visually. I would say that's pretty creative. And you know what? I never really thought about it until when I saw myself up on a billboard in Times Square. And I'm going to give shout outs to Dr. Tenaria Drummond Smith because she definitely helped to make that possible. But when I saw my face twice up on a Times Square billboard in New York City, which is huge, and I thought about, that's my graphic, that's my artwork, that's what I helped to create. I created these graphics that, with all the traffic on Times Square, people were able to see it. And sometimes, because when you're in the midst of it, like myself, I don't think about the things that my hands have touched, the things that I've been privileged to be a part of, and now is out there in the ecosystem. Because my mind is always in work mode, I need to stop and take a pause, for the things that I've actually helped to bring to life. in the creation of some things and not feel like it's just another one, it's just another one. But no, it is a part of my own personal experience and people giving me the opportunity to help bring their stories to life. So, wow, I just, and sitting here thinking about just the topic today about creativity shapes culture, I'm really thinking about what has my hands been a part of creating. I guess I needed to stop and take a pause. Good morning, Juanita Sanders Crib. Oh my gosh, girl, we have to connect outside of this. So I'm gonna make sure I hit you up so we can catch up because it's been so long. But thank you so much for stopping in the comments and saying good morning. I really appreciate that. As I'm sitting here thinking about the creativity that I've put my hands to, wow. And we have our own history going back years centered around creativity. So thank you. All right, so let's talk about our Black history, Blacks in Fact. And this segment is sponsored by Teresa Merritt Watson. Thank you, Miss Teresa Merritt Watson, for your creativity and your genius, and for Gerard Harmon, who helps to bring that genius to life visually. But thank you for allowing me to incorporate your baby, Blacks In, into our morning brew conversation every day. And so today, with it being Women's Month, I've been focusing on really highlighting those pioneers that have really contributed to us through their creative messages. And so, yes, I will definitely do that. Juanita, I will definitely do that. Reach out to you so we can connect and catch up. So right now, let's go into our Blacks in Fact. Today we have Gwendolyn Brooks. Gwendolyn Brooks became the first African American to win the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry. Now, if you're okay, I do want to share one of her more famous poems that we all may be familiar with. And if you're not, that's okay, because I'm going to share it with you anyway. Okay? All right, so hold on, let me just pull her poem in. We're gonna talk about We Real Cool is one of her poems by Gwendolyn Brooks. The Pool Players, 7 at the Golden Shovel. We real cool. We left school. We lurk late. We strike straight. We sing sin. We thin gin. We jazz June. We die soon. Whew. She just summed it all up, huh? In that poem. But thank you to Gwendolyn Brooks. Poetry. She was a poet. Now, I'm saying this because a lot of times we don't see the power in our stories. And you guys, if you're familiar with our conversations here on Morning Brew, you know the foundation for Morning Brew and why it was even birthed was because it was a platform for you, the author, to have a voice, to be heard, to let your story be seen, to show the power in your story. So I'm always going to talk about the power in one story, especially being a book publisher, right? But she took her poetry to the highest level to win a Pulitzer Prize for her poetry. She probably did not think about when she set out on her journey that would be her ultimate goal. That probably was the furthest thing from her mind. She just did what was in her heart. She did what was in her to do. And when you walk in purpose, you just can't get away from that thing. That's why here at Morning Brew, it's like, wait a minute, guys, let's stop, let's take a pause because it's time we just need to pour into purpose. And that's for everybody that stops by Morning Brew with Germaine. I just really want you to just take a moment, as I say, take a pause so you can pour into purpose. And so We thank her for being able to share her story with the world that becomes part of her legacy for us still to glean from, still to learn from. So if you're unfamiliar with Gwendolyn Brooks, you know what? Just do a Google search on her and you could pull up a lot of her poems and um get introduced, get to know. I'm not just introducing Blacks in as facts on Morning Brew, but I'm doing this because there's a bigger issue. They are trying to take our Black history out of schools, and they're succeeding. It is our job. It is our job to continue the conversations, to continue learning about our own rich history. Clearly, others may know a little more. That's why they fight so hard to conceal it, cover it, destroy it, or take it from us. So it's our job to make sure we stay engaged. So, as if you don't know, I decided every single show, not just Black History Month, every single episode, Monday through Friday, we come on 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But every single morning brew, we will introduce a Blacks in Fact. And that segment is sponsored by Teresa Merritt Watson. See, listen, it's okay. Let's partner. I decided, you know what? Let me partner with someone. That's her passion. That's what she do. And you know what I do? Her Blacks in calendar that you see right back here. I literally take it right from her Blacks in calendar. Every single month, she not only highlights, let me just pull it up. Yes, this is one of those moments I just want to shout out the Blacks in calendar. But every month, she highlights a feature. And then along the sides, right over here, along the side, she gives other Black facts about um other Black people, yes, Black people that are making contributions to our culture. Creativity, their creativity. And what's to say that can't be you? Listen, we are a creative, smart, genius people. And the thing is, for some reason, we do it well. It doesn't even take a lot of times for us to make significant contributions, that people will talk about forever because we're that people. We are that people. All right. All right. So let me continue on. So, right now, let's get into our reflection question. This is a segment that we all can take part in. And, I like to always leave two questions with you. And so, one of the questions is I'm looking down at my notes. Yes, I am. One of the questions is, how might your creativity influence the culture around you? Let me say that for you one more time. How might your creativity influence the culture around you? All right. Ready for question number two? And the good thing is, you guys can always revisit our YouTube channel, Morning Brew with Germaine, and you can always go back and you can always watch this again, or just go into the vault and you can choose whatever you like to watch in our vault. Okay. All right. So, question number two: what ideas are waiting for you to express? I know you have some. I know you do. Don't be afraid. You cannot be afraid. Let your voice be heard. Let your voice reign. Let it be heard. Let it be heard. Make sure you're saying something that people want to hear, right? And sometimes people may not want to hear it, but they need to hear it. So that's the second question. What ideas are waiting for you to express? All right. So I'm going to leave those two questions for you to think about. All right, now let's get into, we're going into our final sip, but before we go into our final sip, I just want to once again, I want to invite you over. Let me take a few moments. I just want to invite you over into our school community. Now, what is school community? What is that? It is a place that is an extension, Morning Brew, the school community. is one, I would say it's the building of my ecosystem, right? When I say my ecosystem, it's not just my ecosystem, it is my ecosystem that invites people in. One, if they want to talk about book publishing because they know they have a powerful story and they need to figure out how to get it out there. Two, we have our academy, HOVP Academy. That's where our builders lab. It's now open and you can go in for free. This is all for free. You can go in. I left a gift in there for you in our builders lab, okay? In our school community. And you can begin to really tap in getting the tools you need for the power of your story. So the 5-step strategic activation is available right now for you at any time. Go in, check it out. Okay. And then we have our HOV media pillar, right? And so that's where, hey, we produce shows like our Morning Brew show. It ties in all things digital and all that stuff. So, anyway, it's not just my space, it's a space where we're really building and we're sharing. And I have met so many people from different countries right here in this country, people that have joined in my community from a larger school community. You just never know. But I know when I was introduced to it, it just felt like home for me. It felt like a place I could be safe. My people that come in, they can be safe to build their communities also. So remember, this is for everybody, not just me. So you can build your own community. And I know you guys have some. And right now, we need the strength of community more than ever today. Yes, more than ever. The bonding, sticking together, sharing, like minds coming together. And even if you may disagree, you know what? When people disagree with me and they have negative comments, I turn it into something positive. That's just me. I do. And then sometimes I make it teachable moments. But listen, the one thing I do know, I don't have it all together. Not at all. I look for community, just like with the Blacks in Facts. I went into my community and I said, hey, Teresa, I really want to incorporate this in my morning brew. Even for some of the segments that I bring here to Morning Brew, like on our Mixed Blend Wednesdays, how we have Coach Dr. V, who does leadership training, which is Dr. Vernon Shazier. You may be familiar with the name Shazier because his son Ryan played for the Steelers, but he is a resident every third Wednesday here, and he's teaching us about leadership, champion leaders. Let's become that champion leaders. Okay. So, and then we have Coach Kathleen. Coach Kathleen is with us. They're now, listen, they're in our community, the school community also. So you have access to all these people, right? And so I'm gonna just put the banner up. So if you do decide you want to join the community, then look, it's scrolling across the bottom, but I'm gonna put it up on the screen as well. Good morning, Dr. Tenaria. Girl, I just shouted you out. You probably heard it. Amen. Amen. Yes. I shouted you out earlier in the show. And so, but we're just talking about building community and how creativity actually shapes our culture. All right. So let me get my thoughts back together, okay, as we pretty much get back into we're just kind of wrapping up. So I'm inviting all those that would like. It is free for you to join, but come meet us in our school community. Come meet us in our school community. And you know what? I've been personally inviting people that I've been working with because I know they have the potential to build huge communities over there, to offer their courses over there in the classroom, um, and to really be able to connect with people from all over the world for what it is they bring to the table, what they're gifted and skilled in. And I today this morning, and I'm sorry, I don't want to stay here on it, but I'm gonna say this, right? Because I'm really learning the power in the school community, and because I've been looking for a home for community, and because we have so many social media outlets and handles and all that, I just said, how do you build consistently in one place? So wow, it came to me. the school community was introduced to me by someone on my team that shared a post that they received. And I said, well, let me look into this. And you know what? Just by taking a moment to look into it, I found out it worked for me. And it felt right. So I posted in there today because I wanted to find out. I posted in the general school community, which there's almost 200,000 communities. And so I posted for all them to access my post. And what I posted was, I was curious. I wanted to know what made others want to join the school community. And I did it as a poll. And you know what? I'm gonna put it in my own personal community, but I put it in a general community and people started to share. And people started to get to know me, Germaine with Morning Brew, just because I was curious and I wanted to find out why others are coming to school and why they feel so comfortable being here. And someone got back to me saying that it felt like an honest space. It felt like a space I could be honest, I can share. I did not have to feel like I had to perform, and it just felt genuine. Someone else said that it felt like a place of peace for me. And I was like, wow, it's good to really get feedback from other people because you never know. So, and the one thing I'm going to be straight up with you, the one thing, because it's something new, that means it's going to take some time, not a whole lot of time. It's really up to you how quickly you can adapt to it and really see the benefits it could have for you. Right. And so that's what I do in my community because I know what it was for me when I first signed up. It's like, okay, where do I start? And the great thing about the school community, they give you a whole like step by step. You can go into the owners. I mean, I deal directly with the owners, even in the big school community. So because they're that personable, it feels like home, like I said, right? Come on into my house, right? That's how it feels. But and this is not I feel like I'm doing a commercial for school, but it's bigger than school. School just becomes that tool and that resource, that outlet that we can build something far greater. That's why I guess I feel a little passionate about it, right? Because I felt like, oh, this puzzle piece now fits. And that's how it felt. It fits. So, but it's so much bigger than that. Staying engaged, staying connected. That's how it felt. And you know what's so interesting? They even track, they have this whole tracking where are people signing up from to join your school community. So I can literally see, I had somebody join my community from my website, from HOVP Pub website. And I was like, okay. And all I did, I just added my school link. I'm gonna put it up again because somebody may want to join. And you know what? I'm gonna even put it in the comments. Why don't I do that too? So hold on one second. I'm gonna put it up here that you can join there, but I'm gonna put it in the comments also to make it a little easier to join. But yeah, you're able to see. I just put it in my profiles on all my social media handles. So I'm literally able to see that people are joining in from these different locations, which is like, okay, maybe they're feeling a sense of community and want to know how to grow that. So, hey, here we are, guys. Right? Let's do it together. All right, let me just add it here. So it's easier just to click a link. And also for those that are connected to the school community, I've already put in there some steps because I'm going to help you understand what does this mean and how do I build here? How can I bring my talents, my gifts over here? And how can it be a revenue stream for me as well? Because it can. It really can. Okay. And you can connect with people that are making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in the school community with their brands and their what they're teaching and what they're offering and their services they're providing. And so, and Taneri, I just want to say to you, one of the biggest communities there that is so quickly growing is a crochet community. Let me tell y'all, my girl is a master at this crochet stuff now. I'm gonna be honest with you. She will thrive over there because she already teaches classes. So, all right. So I put it in there. I'm gonna put it in my Instagram also, just so anybody that wants to connect, they can. All right, guys. So I just wanted to give that little infomercial on joining the school community while we're here. And Amanda Neighbors, thanks for the thumbs up. One of my best-selling authors. Yes. And she has her third book coming out. I'm gonna drop it when it's ready. We're gonna show it's amazing. Yes, it's coming. And then we have quite a few books. I think I'm gonna dedicate a segment just to the new releases that's coming forth for the authors of HOV Publishing, because our first men's anthology book, let me pull this off the screen. You guys are familiar with school now. Our first men's anthology book is coming out. And so all those men will be joining us. Well, we're gonna try to get them all to join us in studio. But the mastermind, the curator behind that is none other than Dr. Tenaria Drummer Smith. So yes, thumbs up to my girl. Yes, she's done it again. This is her 10th. I think she on book number 10. The girl is unstoppable, just unstoppable. But I'm gonna keep encouraging her because she has more books coming. Her children's book is coming this year too. So but nevertheless, yes, I think I'm going to do like a spotlight of all new books that are coming out monthly. So stay connected for that, because that's why we created this platform. And as you know, we definitely bring them in for our Authors Brew Friday so they can talk all about the power of their story and they can share it with you. All right, now that we've had this long extended infomercial about how you can stay connected, let's bring this to a close. You guys have been amazing. Oh, my girl, Miss Josie Harris, the fly girl herself. Good morning, my queen, over on Instagram. Yes, guys, I need to say this because I know some of you probably missed it, but thank God we capture it all. Go over into the YouTube, into Morning Brew, and make sure you pull up the last Morning Brew, Authors Brew Friday, which we converted over into, Fly Girl Friday with none other than Josie Harris. Go check that interview out, because if you were somebody that absolutely loved and live in color, if you were hooked on it like I was hooked on it, well, she actually lived the experience because she was one of the fly girls on there. So make sure you go check out her story, and then literally how she didn't get stuck. She began to really show the power in her story as she pivoted and ended up, now she teaches others how to embrace their story through acting, and she teach them how to let their stories live out loud on stages, on screens, on television. Go check it out. I'm gonna leave it there. Okay, thank you, my queen, for stopping in. I know it's early out there in LA. All right, guys. So on that note, let's kind of wrap this up. Thank you all for stopping by for coffee and conversation today. You know, it's always a blessing. It does my heart good. Now, remember, I got to say this before we absolutely close out. I am on TikTok Live Tuesday, 12:30 today, Eastern Standard Time at 12:30 for the Morning Brew Spillover Conversation, straight from the heart. Yep. Yep. So, Josie, thank you for inspiring me to do my TikToks. You know, my husband has been on me to do it, and I'm finally showing up because your TikToks, Fly Girl Fridays, you know, it's after my bedtime, but I stay up to make sure I'm on there because it blesses my soul. Fly Girl Fridays over on TikTok Live. So, yes, let's go. All right, you guys. But yes, join me over there at 12:30. I love to see you all. I need encouragement. I do. Encourage your sister. I need it. All right, so let's get into this final sip. And the final sip is culture doesn't shift accidentally. Mm-mm. It shifts when creators speak. That's why it's important to let your voice be heard. Speak, speak. Okay. Let me say, I'll be on after you. Okay, girl, I'm gonna need that. I am going to need that because the first week was like, okay, we figuring this out. This week, hopefully, it'll be a lot better. But we're gonna talk about some stuff. So, guys, you know how we do. So let's sip bold, let's create freely, and let influence culture. Is that fair enough? Can we influence the culture? All right. So, on that note, thank you guys so much for chiming in. Yes, your acting academy, Josie. Yes, it's starting. Josie, your acting academy. You know what? I want to put that in because if you guys out there, she is actually, you don't have to go all the way to California to be a part of her acting academy. Nope. You can actually do it virtually. And so, Josie, do me a favor, put the link into the Instagram real quick because I definitely want to post that with those. So, all right. I'll definitely make sure I have that available because I thought it was in my threads. But yes, so guys, on that note, thank you. Be safe. Whatever you do today, I want you to be safe as you're out there. Stay connected. Stop by tomorrow for Morning Brew. Tomorrow's Mixed Blend Wednesdays. Let's see who's showing up in studio tomorrow with us. Okay. But nevertheless, be safe out there.